Welcome everyone to episode 9 of the Brewhouse podcast between two brothers where we talk about gaming, tech, entertainment, and everything in between. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, we do stream one of these episodes usually every Tuesday night around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/Brewski. Last week we kind of talked about our predictions for season 8 of Game of Thrones, what we think is going to happen, how we think the series is going to close out. This week we have probably a pretty long episode, something we're both pretty passionate about. We're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. We've both put in some good time into the game. Jonathan a little more than me. I think he's almost about to 100% it.
Yeah, I think I'm right over 60 hours into it.
Mm-hmm. And me, I've beaten the main game and I just started kind of, going to all the side stuff. Like the ultimate weapon, all the secret emblems, all the treasure chests, anything like that. So if you haven't beaten the game yet, this will be a spoilery review.
Yes.
We're going to be going into pretty heavily detailed stuff on all the worlds, the story, and where we think the series is going to go next.
We can give like a maybe 5-minute overview of a spoiler free and then move into spoilers.
Yeah.
Just give our general overview without going into any really detail about the story or the worlds and stuff.
You give yours while I change the title real quick. I forgot to do that.
So it was good. First and foremost, it was good. Could have came out 5 years ago. I'm gonna be blanket about that. There's nothing.
Okay, I'll let you finish.
It could have came out the same time Frozen did. In all honesty, there's no reason to let it go any farther. The Unreal Engine was out 5 years ago. For the amount of story they put into it, with the amount of time they had to work on it, unless there was multiple times throughout the 10-year or was 12 years.
No, they were only working on this game for 6 years.
6 years. Okay.
They had other games released before this game we even went into development. Everybody thinks Kingdom Hearts 2 released 13 years ago. They've been working on 3 for that long. They've only been working on this game for about 6 years.
They didn't. That's true. They probably didn't start working on this until after Final Mix. And
so yeah. So while I agree with you partly, I'll let you finish. But then
But being the fact is other than development cycles and other games in the queue to being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
This game, they probably announced it too soon, to be honest. But they probably
I agree with that. Yeah.
They should announce it and say next year. Here's the date.
Yeah.
But no, beautiful game.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful game. Runs. You probably saw the same videos. There was FPS issues in some testing videos, but I didn't have any issues. I want to say I told you the only issue I had was in the opening cutscene. Mm-hmm. That was the only time it kind of stuttered at one point. It was great. Story was. We're gonna get into that more in the story. The story was probably decent. Could have been better.
Did you know every single thing about the story before this game?
I knew enough.
I don't think you knew enough.
No, I did know enough. No, I watched a whole bunch of videos and everything like that. Okay. I watched every video that I want to say you sent to me. I watched the hour long of getting everything to. No, I think the story was good. The ending made up for the lack of story throughout, because it's not going into detail.
Yeah,
it seems like the beginning, the end are a lot more.
The story is very backloaded.
Yes, completely. Yeah, the last hour of the game made up for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I see people, like you said, once you get to a certain point in the game, you're going to keep playing until you're done.
Yeah, you're not going to want to stop.
Difficulty wise, it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
I played on normal.
I think it will be with critical.
Yes, critical it will be, and maybe some additions they add to Final Mix, they might tweak it a little bit. The weapon system combat, that's all good and dandy. But I mean, overall, it was a good game.
What do you give a 7?
I'll give it 8.
I'm in the 7 to 8 area.
Yeah, I think
because the things that are good are so good. Like you said,
base Kingdom Hearts 2. What did you give it? Not Final Mix. I know Final Mix for you is probably 10, but
base Kingdom Hearts 2 for me was an 8.
Yeah, I'd say that same.
So
yeah, I still give base Kingdom Hearts 1 a 9.
See, I don't. Just the combat in it is so bad.
But but you also have to look at the era. It was PlayStation 2. Those were the controls at the time.
Well, Kingdom Hearts 2 was PlayStation 2.
Yeah, but the time period in between that was
Hmm.
enough time that games utilize, you know,
They
they
knew
at
how to
least
utilize the hardware better.
yeah, they noticed what was wrong with the first
Hmm.
one with the combat and adjusted that for the second. So I just think the crazy thought of
Hmm.
the game and everything like that and how well it was executed in the story. I mean, you
And
can
how
play
they
the
even
first
pulled it off.
yeah. I mean, if you could play the first one start to finish and understand the story.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, the one was still a really good game.
Mm.
I give it a 7 out of 10. And
Oh,
then
so you this would be the third out of those three.
no, I think I don't know. I rank 2 and 3 pretty much evenly.
Mm.
Um, I can't really
I'm
put
just
one
talking.
ahead of the other.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
just
talking.
just base game, not Final Mix. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is one of my favorite games of all time. So,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it's not fair to compare a Final Mix to a just released version. So,
exactly.
I agree with a lot of what you said. Um, I don't know that you know the entire story. I thought I did before the game, but then
Well, there's a whole
I've been searching through like wikis and stuff.
yeah, there's a whole lot of lore and stuff like
Like,
that.
do
Same
you know
thing
what
with
went on in the mobile game?
I did read into that. That was that had a lot to do with
The Forerunners and
the
the
post
first
credit scene.
Keyblade Award. Yeah.
Yeah, the post credit scene. Yeah,
So,
no, that's what I did after I finished the
mm,
game. Watched that cutscene. I went back and read. Okay, what's the deal with this? And it
mm,
said a lot of the mobile game kind of tied that story up. So
yeah.
yeah, I did read into it after
Okay.
the fact.
Okay. So first we'll get into is kind of just I guess the first thing you see graphics wise, and then we'll get into the worlds too.
We're
Like we
going
said,
spoilers now.
we're going into spoilers now.
Okay.
The worlds overall they were very good. They looked good, but like we
Very nice.
said, there was so little of the story strung out through them. Yeah, you saw a member of the organization. You saw one individual member in each world, and that's kind of how they
Mhm.
tied them in. But there was no like there was a mention of them having Elsa and Rapunzel as being like backup vessels for like light or whatever. But then
Yeah.
they never really touched on that again.
No.
They only did it in those two worlds because those were the only two worlds with princesses in them.
Correct.
Um, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. Why the hell was Winnie the Pooh in there? It was a mobile
Because
game.
no, they threw Winnie the Pooh in there because you need, as you'll come to find out, you will need him for the vegetables for Ratatouille, which is also completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
How many times did you eat a meal in the game?
I never even went in the place.
No, but you can like so you haven't gone to the place yet.
No, can't you like
So
make
you,
meals and it'll like boost your stats
and
and
it'll
stuff?
it'll
And
it'll buff you for some amount of time. So I knew it. I messed around like a little bit, like whenever it was unlocked.
mm,
Um, but no, you get stats. They last for 30 minutes, and based on the quality of the meal that you make,
mm-hmm.
no, it was a complete gimmick, and that should not be in the game at
Yeah,
all.
I agree.
The collecting ingredients, but no, that is the only reason Winnie the Pooh is in there because there's a vegetable garden, there's a fruit garden, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a flower garden, and
Yeah.
you get specific ingredients from there. So
All right. So getting into world design, um, we enjoyed. I mean, playing through the worlds, we enjoyed all of them.
well, let's run through them real quick, and we'll give like good, bad, and we can go like that.
Okay. So we'll go. Which one did you do first? You did Tangled first, huh?
Yeah, I did Tangled first. Tangled, I like Tangled's design. I mean, a lot of its base is generic with like the forest and everything like that. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as like the last fight and everything, I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm.
The tower was good. There was actually a story there. I mean, that was the story of the movie.
Yeah, it was a
So
repeat of the movie.
yeah, which is great. I mean, we hadn't seen that in a video game, so that was
Mm-hmm.
good. I'd give that one like a good score. What do
Yeah.
you think of that?
I thought it was good. I liked how they introduced the new mechanics really well in that boss fight with the whole wall running.
Yeah,
The boss mechanics were kind of weird. He could like pollinate you or stun you or something, and it would make you
yeah.
like dizzy.
That's another thing we need to talk about with the gameplay. Remind me
But
of stuff.
it didn't really matter
Yeah.
because the game like it was easy, so you could literally just button mash him
Hmm.
and kill him. Overall, the story was good. I didn't mind that it was a repeat of the movie because they still tied
No,
in.
no,
They
no,
still
no,
tied
no.
in like you see Marluxia appear and Sora
Mhm.
doesn't remember him because he doesn't have his memories from
Exactly.
Chain of Memories and stuff like that.
Right.
Same thing happens with Larxene.
Yeah,
um,
no, it was agree. I like
mhm.
that, and we're gonna get more to it in Frozen later. But I mean, that was a good use of the story.
Yeah, I agree. So getting into Toy Story, this was out of all the worlds, I think this was in our top 2 for both of us.
Easily.
It was a unique story. It took characters we love, and it was, I guess, a quote unquote small world, but you were toy size, so it was big, and there was a lot to it.
It was a small world in the sense that, okay, you have Andy's house, and then you have
the 3
outside.
stories, yeah.
And then the 3 stories in there, but on each story there's different sub segments. I think I like that world the most because how it looked, but also once you loaded into the toy store, there's no more loading screens.
Yeah, there was no loading screens. It was all one area, but it was still another big.
Issue that I have with this game.
Okay.
The loads are ridiculous. The fact is you have a 20-second load between areas in the same world. So if you if you go to the save point, you can transfer to a different area. It's 20 to 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And walking in between, like zoning into a different area, it's just as long. There's no need for that.
You know what? I think they ran out of room on the freaking disc.
I don't believe that.
I don't know, dude. There's like 10 hours of cutscenes in the game.
There's a way to get around that because you can use internal memory. You could have put the entire game, say, on the disc, and whenever you installed it to your PlayStation, you could have downloaded all the cutscenes off the server.
I don't know.
So I don't use that as an excuse.
I don't find that as big of a deal because the game looks so good. Granted, you can pull the whole God of War did it. Kingdom Hearts.
No,
I think this game looks better than God of War, personally, graphics wise. God of War had frame rate drops. I don't know, got hazy parts.
I guess that's a balance between, one cut and then loading.
Yeah.
So you're not using as much resources whenever you have a specific zone to render in a game, rather than God of War. You have this entire thing that you can see off in the distance that, if you go there, it's going to be there. Yeah. So they have to have some processing to render. So I can agree in that sense. I think there are places that look better, like some worlds look exponentially better than others, be it Toy Story, even though Sora's character in Toy Story was probably the worst looking part in that.
I agree.
But like Woody, Buzz, just like the Toy Story in general looked
great. Yeah, it looked insanely good.
But no, I agree that that's probably the best. The story was good.
And story was good. Boss was super easy, just like every other world. But
I like the mechanic of the big toys, hopping in the big toys, like the
Max. Yeah, that was cool. It's also a really good area to farm experience. You just go to the first floor of the level and go to town.
Yeah. Did you do the what do you think of that side game, the side mission?
The thing where you hop on the guy and stack things on top and everything?
No, when you go into no, that's the flan. What about the video game? Like where you go into the TV and you have to
that's interesting. Well, that part, but we'll get into Verum Rex too.
Yeah, Verum Rex. But what do you think of just the minigame part right now?
The minigame part, that was cool. I mean,
that's a little bit more challenging of one of the ones for the trophies.
Yeah. I haven't done the trophies yet. I'm probably not going to. I'm just gonna get everything in the game. And anyway, getting on to I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I liked it.
So getting into the next worlds, we have Pirates of the Caribbean.
We missed Hercules was first.
Oh yeah. So Hercules, it was like kind of the intro world. They pulled the whole joke, Kingdom Hearts 2.9 or whatever.
Yeah, I like that.
Was funny.
I like that.
I really liked Hercules.
Hercules looked great. The story was good. It wasn't repetitive. I do miss the Colosseum battles though.
That's one thing I want to talk about. I don't know that they're gonna add that in.
I don't see any reason.
I don't know. I liked how we went to Olympus instead of the underworld.
Was it just me, or was that world a lot longer than the other ones?
It was longer.
It seems like
because you had two like you could kind of separate them into two worlds. You have Thebes and then Olympus.
It seems like the initial worlds had a lot more care put into them than the ending ones.
And I almost feel like they went too hard with the boss fight in the first world, because that boss fight was really good, where you fight the Titans.
Yeah, it was
like,
fun.
I don't know, dude. The Titans have been like in-game bosses in the first one in the Colosseum. The Ice Titan and the Rock Titan. That was in-game stuff, and that's the first boss you fight. It's like, okay, that's good. Like, come out the gate swinging, but I don't know. I think
it was good though. I mean,
no, it was definitely good, but I guess they had to do that since there wasn't any second trips back to Worlds.
Yeah. Any required second trips for
yeah,
Sword.
that's true. So we did Hercules, we did Tangled, we did Toy Story. Next we have Winnie the Pooh, which, as we said, is really only there to get vegetables.
When did Winnie the Pooh become available? I must have skipped that cutscene.
It was after I think it was after Toy Story.
See, I didn't go into it until after the game was beat.
Yeah,
shows how much you need to. No, it was whenever I thought I locked the trophy. Whenever I got all the Mickey emblems, and then I'm looking on a wiki. And it's like, okay, where are all these? And it's like, oh yeah, there's 3 in Winnie the Pooh, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't even go there.
Yeah. So then we have Pirates of the Caribbean and Big Hero 6. Now these are what?
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. and Frozen. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yep.
So this is Frozen was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, I like Frozen. Have you ever watched Frozen?
I've never seen the movie. I'm never watching it. I'm kidding. I'll probably watch it eventually.
This is good. I mean, the music is good. Yeah, it's that, but the whole adding the music video.
Yeah, it was kind of over the top. Because they do the whole thing, and then they showed Sora at the end, and he's just like, what just happened?
Wow. No, at least they did their due diligence and got the rights from Idina Menzel to actually be able to put that in the video game. So
I'm glad they got like majority of the original voice actors for all the worlds too.
Yeah, they did.
Like, I mean, really James Woods has been in all the games.
Hades. I mean, if you would hear anybody else play him, that would be it.
Same guy that did Hercules in the movies did in all the games. I forget his name.
Now, since we're on voice actings, what do you think of Sora's? I think it's the writing.
It's definitely the writing, and I'm not saying this is you. I'm saying if you aren't over the kind of cheesy writing by the third game, where they go, "Thank you, Donald, Goofy," and anytime they acknowledge Sora, they have to say Sora, Donald, Goofy. Yeah. And I think one of the worst people to do that is Riku's voice actor, because he's like at the end, he's like, "Let him go, Mickey." And there's like, I don't know, there's just way too much gaps in between when they talk. But again, that's just part of it by now. I think I think he did a really good job, actually, though.
Yeah, I think he did good. I mean, you can only work with what you're given. Yeah. I think in the final mix versions, can you put on Japanese with English subtitles?
No, I wish you could.
Yeah, because that's how I play it.
I hope they add that in. That'd be a really cool addition.
That'd be a cool.
I think I think enough people would be happy with that too.
So Frozen was good.
The boss fight of Frozen was really good.
I like there. Did you? Well, you haven't seen it. I did not. I thought you were going to be running around Elsa, as you know.
As your companion.
I didn't think it would be a Marshmallow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I haven't seen it. So, getting into Monsters Inc. This was probably my least favorite world out of like the major ones.
It's my second least favorite
because it was so linear and you just repeated the same thing. So you would run down a hallway and you would have to like make Boo laugh or whatever. Yeah. And then you would go up a level and then you'd have to like dodge the lasers. And you just did that like 3 times and then fought one of the most annoying bosses in all of Kingdom Hearts history.
That's what I was about to say.
In Kingdom Hearts history. It wasn't hard, it was just annoying.
Yeah, because you couldn't do anything to it. You couldn't block, you couldn't reflect his attacks except the fireball after his his 3 sequence. But then whenever the tentacles came up, there's no way to get them down besides just wait it out.
And of course, I mean, the world looked good. I liked what they did with Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Or Sora, Donald, Goofy. Now you need to spread it out. I like what they did with how they looked. I mean, like I said, the game just looks good, but the gameplay in that world, or the design in that world, was just linear and compared to Hercules and freaking Frozen, where you're like sledding down a mountain and like running up to Olympus.
That's another fun mini game, sliding down the mountain.
Yeah. And then you have Monsters Inc., where you're in a factory going up floor by floor, and then you fight a slime boss at the end. You fight an emo flubber at the end of the game, like at the end of the world. Like,
it was just really disappointing.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it.
I didn't care for it at all.
So what, at this point in the game, what Keyblade were you using the most?
I was using the whatchamacallit, the star shooter one. The one that
because
turns
you
into
went,
guns. Because I was using a lot of magic.
Yeah, you're using a lot of magic. So see, I didn't even use that one until the end of the game. I used Favorite Deputy.
Toy Story one, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, he turns into a huge hammer, and it's just ridiculously overpowered.
Well, that one was good for clearing like mobs.
And that's what I used in. I think what was my second one? The one from Tangled was my second one.
That one was good too.
How often did you see? I didn't realize the mechanic that you equip 3 keyblades and you tap right or left and you switch between them.
Yeah, I started switching more towards the end.
Yep.
If I was doing physical attacks, I was using one. If I was
have
doing
like
magic,
a magic
I was
power
doing another.
Yep.
And then have one that's I guess kind of balanced. So next we have Big Hero 6 and Pirates. Now, despite what people may think about the underwater combat, I enjoyed it in this world. I didn't enjoy it when you did it later in the game, but I enjoyed it in this world.
Oh god,
and I think this world, Pirates looked insanely good.
Oh, it looks so good.
And I don't know how they made the game look so good on normal PlayStation 4.
Well, the people look like the actual actors.
Yeah,
it looks live action, and how it starts. You're with Jack on the beach, and you got trying to catch up to the Black Pearl and everything like that.
Yeah, this was another one where they tied in it was the plot of the movie, the third movie, but you were tied in and in the middle of it.
Yeah, the middle half of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The ship battles were insanely fun.
I love
it. They were challenging. They weren't too challenging, but they weren't too easy. But then if you go back and do the trophies and stuff, I'm sure they get more challenging.
It gets worse. There's one ship that pops up, and I was like, oh yeah, I can take this, because like you said, they're fun, but they had a little challenge to them. But you just locate on the spots, you get a special, and you use that. No, I think my ship was level 2 or something like that, and then this mini boss pops up, and I was like, nope. I just blasted, put my shields, and I ran away. I was like, there's no way I could take that. Yeah, and I want to say at level 8 I ended up killing it, and 9's the highest that your ship can go.
Yeah. So I mean, this world just looked insanely good. You fight freaking Davy Jones at the end, which was a really good boss fight.
Do you want a little spoiler? What happens when you get max level on your ship?
Yeah.
You can switch to the Black Pearl and use that one.
Oh, really? That's cool. I was wondering if they were going to do something like that.
Yeah. No, that's what I like.
So they did a really good job with Pirates. I think, Jonathan, you said this was your favorite world?
Yeah, it would have to be just because the world itself. So I mean, you're Pirates of the Caribbean, so you got your shore base and everything like that. But the fact is that the majority of the world is little islands that you got to go search for treasure for.
Yeah,
and you go to each island. Each island is different. You're looking for crabs to power you up, and the entire time you're running around and ships pop up and you blast them. It's just fun, controls really well. And like you said, I was wondering how they're going to throw underwater fighting into it, and it wasn't too much. I think it was just enough, but it was easy. The controls were fluid. They added the fast swim mechanic, which I think made a big difference.
Yeah, that was life saving.
So it was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was probably tied for favorite world with Toy Story.
Yeah, I agree. I think Toy Story probably gives that the slight edge, probably. But as far as
just because it was something quote unquote unique, and not
overall everything that you can do, they're close.
Yeah,
it's
they're
close
really close.
Too.
And then you get to Big Hero 6, and we were both pretty disappointed with Big Hero 6.
What's there to do? What is there to do? What are they doing?
It seems like they got to the end of the end of making the game, and they were just like, all right, we're just gonna throw this in there real quick. I mean, even watching the cutscenes, you beat that world in an hour and a half. It was easily the shortest world. It was half the length of Hercules.
There's just nothing.
There's really not even much to talk about it. The boss fight was kind of cool. You're fighting the evil Baymax.
No,
I mean the mechanic to it was fine, but I don't know. It seemed rushed.
Empty.
Yeah,
it's empty. Because right now, so at the end of the game, you go into it. You have his garage, Hero's garage,
and then part of the city,
and the part of the city, and
you can't even explore the whole city.
The big change is you can do day and night cycles in
that's it.
2 different sections, and that's it.
I think if they opened up
nothing to do there.
I think if they opened up the rest of the city, it would have been a lot better. Not even for the story. Just after you beat the mission, you can go there and there's stuff to do around the city. There's challenges, and
you start off on the bridge, and you can't even go back to the bridge.
Yeah, that's really
no.
lame.
I mean, there's like one of the in mini games is like the tracer tracks or whatever. We got to go get the rings and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's okay, but they
I
could have done so much more. And like I said, it seems like they were at the end of making the game, and they were just like, all right, let's just.
For the trophy for that one, you have to get an A rank in both of them. I did each one time and got an A rank, and that's it. I mean, there's not even ingredients that you have to go there for. The only reason you really need to go back there for is there's a flan on top of one of the buildings.
So yeah, there's really not much to say about Big Hero 6. It was, out of all the worlds, I was probably the most disappointed in that one.
I didn't like the controls of Betamax either. Like whenever you joined up with them, that was probably my least favorite one that I joined up with.
So yeah,
you can't join up. You can't join up with Marshmallow. Pirates was okay. Pudding was the rocket. Tangled.
No, you can't. You can do a command with him. I did it. You can do one with him.
I must have did it and not realize it. Because I had I have that one Mickey eared already.
But yeah, it was just disappointment overall in that world.
Yeah.
And then you get into the meat of it all, and you go to the Realm of Darkness where you fight Aqua. And I think this was one of the best fights in all of Kingdom Hearts. Just the emotion behind it, the mechanics behind it, the music was insane when you were doing it. You're on the water in the realm, like in the Realm of Darkness, fighting against like one of the most like beloved characters in the series for the most part, and you don't know if you're gonna kill her. I mean, you assume you're not gonna kill her, which I'm surprised they did what they did, because I mean, people died in the game, technically, but you're never really dead in the Kingdom Hearts universe. Kind of like in like comic book universes, up to a certain point.
Yeah, up to a certain point. Once you die like 3 times, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. So all that was really good. And then you actually get to play as Aqua, where you fight against Vanitas. I thought that was really cool.
Yep.
And then you wake up Ventus, all that stuff. I thought it was really good how they brought all those characters back.
Yeah, they needed to do it good, and I think how they did it was they pulled it off. But what do you think about playing like as the one-off, like as a different character for like 5 minutes?
I think they should have either gone all out or not done it.
Okay. Question: what is the point of Kairi being a Keyblade wielder?
That's another thing I have a problem with. They hyped Kairi. They hyped Kairi up, a bunch in Kingdom Hearts 2 to be like a Keyblade. Like, well, I don't want to say the whole game, but like the second half, they hyped her up. And yeah, another thing with Lee, he was kind of a disappointment. It's like, dude, you were
needed 7.
Yeah, you were a badass in the organization. You were like the assassin, pretty much. And now that you have a Keyblade, you can't do anything else. Like now that you have a Keyblade, I don't know. It seems like there were only 2 people who were really strong. Even Riku was a letdown. No, there's 3. There's 3 that are really strong. Sora, Mickey, and Terra seem like they're what?
Mickey, whenever he goes up to
do Ultima
or Ultima, I was like, oh my god,
dude! And then freaking Donald with Zeta Flare.
Oh yeah,
that was so badass.
I love that they bring in like the
Final Fantasy magic or whatever.
Yeah, no, but that reminds me so much of like a Final Fantasy X. Like
when how they have the emblems with the on the ground.
the emblems, the hieroglyphics or whatever. I love that.
So you get to the Keyblade graveyard, and there's like the whole, I don't want to say BS where they die. Sora does like the power of waking to bring everyone back, but they also kind of like they go back in time, and they're all aware of it, but they all go in doing the same thing and expect something different to happen.
They do the same thing, and they show the same exact cutscene over again. Yeah,
they could have like. I'm not mad that the same thing happened. They could have like done jump skips or something, and like save time and then added in something, and also like. I guess it makes sense because you fight Lingering Will there, so Lingering Will shows up, but then you hear Terra talking, and it's like, all right, was Terra in there? Was he from a different time? I don't think it was. I think it was just Lingering Will. Now, that scene was so badass, though.
I wish there was more of it.
Yeah, I wish there was like a whole fight between freaking Terranort and Lingering Will. Because I mean, you see him do the whip thing, you see him do his Giga Cannon to like shoot him off, and then they go fight. And then you have the whole Sora surfing on Keyblades, which I mean, it was unique. They tie in stuff from the backstory there too, with I forget the dude's name, the dude with the white hair that you see when you're like riding the Keyblades into the darkness thing or whatever. Yeah. And then the game just like it like kind of switches on after that point.
Whenever Yin Sid drops down, I'm like, oh my god, fucking Gandalf.
Yeah, like that was pretty badass. Because you haven't seen Yin Sid in action, you know he's a badass because he's like training all these people. All these people look up to him. Master. Yeah, and Mickey's like one of the strongest people in the game.
Yeah, I mean Yin Sid's what they've said he's a former Keyblade.
He's master. A former master, and yeah, now he trains the current masters. Yeah. So this is where the game like went into overdrive. You kind of have like this labyrinth area, the labyrinth area where you're like all your people are split up and they're all fighting different members of the organization.
Okay, they all leave the same area at the same time, but somehow they're split up throughout this labyrinth.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the labyrinth popped up like in between all of them. It doesn't really make sense. No. I don't expect everything in this game to make sense though. No, it comes with the territory. If you nitpick everything, you're never going to stop nitpicking.
No, I was just that's one thing that I picked out. And I was like,
so
everybody was 2 seconds right next to each other.
My least favorite of these fights was probably the first one I did with Riku.
I did Riku and Mickey first.
It was against
Riku. It was Riku and then Mickey was the other one.
Yeah, it was Riku and was it just him? Yeah, it was just him. So and it was Riku Replica and Ansem. And Ansem. I didn't really like that. I never really saw the point of Riku Replica being in the organization.
Oh, that had Zigbar was in that one too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Ansem left halfway through, and then Zigbar.
So that had the least emotional attachment to it. They kind of built up though.
Yeah, with least you think that one had more. That one had less emotional attachment than Mickey's fights.
Yeah, because wait, when does Kyrie get taken?
That's
with Axel on them. Okay,
well, that's what the third one for. Yeah, no, I think Riku's was good because you had the Riku Replica and like his the one that was inside of him went and took that one.
Well, but then you go to the Mickey one and you defeat Marluxia, Larxene, and Luxord, and
Luxord's saying I can't wait to play a game with you. You played fairly.
And then this is where you get some of the story tied in from the Union
Powerful
Key game.
Speech.
Yeah. No, from Marluxia.
I know.
You get Marluxia and Larxene's backstory because there's rumors going around that you remember when Xemnas was talking to Marluxia, Larxene, Luxord, and Dimix? And he singled them out.
This entire thing.
Well, he was with Vexen. Like he didn't want to be involved or anything like that.
No.
So you remember he was talking to them as like you four are special?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure their somebodies were members of the Dandelions, and they were picked to be the next leaders. Like they were picked to be the next Forerunners.
Oh, okay.
Those four, and then I think Ventus was another one. I'm pretty sure in the backstory. And the Union Key, they talk about that. And that's where all Marluxia's somebody's sister was the person in the final world that you talk to. Yeah. It was like not Naminé, but the other heart you talk to that they're waiting for somebody. And then you have Chirithy, who's Ventus's Dream Eater, is in the final world. You see that at the end of the game. Because you see Chirithy walk up and Ventus is come see, whatever. Yeah. That also ties him back to Union Key, because Chirithy was in Union Key. So I liked that one a lot, because you actually saw the somebody side of nobodies that you haven't seen yet. That are pretty much being used, not necessarily against their will, but they probably don't know what they're signing up for the most part. Because even Larxene was like, yeah, this is better than being his vessel or whatever.
Yep, exactly. So after that, you have Riku and not Riku, you have Kairi and Lee fighting
Sayax, Xion, and Xemnas. But Xemnas takes Kairi and yeets out of there.
Yeah. And then you end up getting, and that's the point that Roxas ends up coming back.
Yeah. Which did
Oh,
you
it was
notice
great.
how insanely OP Roxas was in that fight?
Well, Roxas is OP. He
I
has two
know,
key plates.
I know, but
so.
like you literally don't have to fight Psyx at the end.
Mhm.
You can just let
Yeah.
Roxas in, he'll kill him like easily.
I mean, those fights in general were, decent. I think the hardest one was probably Riku's.
I think it was either
Maybe.
that one or against Terranort and Vanitas. I thought that one was pretty difficult. But the last two fights are just like so like I don't know, they tie in stories really well. Like you see the freaking giant heartless that Ansem was using the whole time was actually like Terra in a different form.
Yeah.
It was like Terra's heart pretty much. Dude, that was insane. So you do that and then you go
off the bandages across his mouth.
That was pretty badass. So then you go up to fight the kind of actual Xehanort people. So you fight Xemnas, Ansem, and young Xehanort.
Xehanort, yep.
And that fight was really cool.
It was good. It was annoying.
It was very
to be
annoying.
Honest.
That might have been like one of the harder fights in the game.
It was. That was one of the points where like at this point I hadn't died yet.
No, yeah, me either.
I only died in whenever you fight Master Xehanort. I only died once. And Same. I'll tell you where when we get to it.
We probably died at the same part.
Well, there's no point to reload high potions once you get started at the end game.
Yeah.
There's no, and if you die, you get a chance to, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But no, this is a good. I like you. You kill one, they drop out. They do you get a little cutscene.
Yep.
Yeah.
So young Xehanort is technically alive in another timeline. Yeah. That's something, he might come back. I don't know, cause some mischief. And then you get like the emotional distress scene where Master Xehanort just like kills Kairi, like in front of Sora, Riku, and Mickey, and he like hits her in the back with his Keyblade, and she turns to glass and shatters.
Yeah, this is after he's the last one left, by the way. Like
this is only him left, and like you've seen him fight before, but you've never really you've never really seen him actually fight.
Who, Master Xehanort?
Yeah. It's like you've never seen him like go all out, I guess you could say. And he pretty much shits on them for the most part at this point. And then they find out some like flaw, like he's passed through so many timelines that you can use that against him to like freeze him or something like that.
So to lock him and push him and freeze him in one in his original spot or whatever, his original home.
So he kills Kairi. It was a pretty badass scene where like, Sora went up, he got knocked down. Riku went up, he got knocked down. Mickey went up, was about to use Ultima on him. I was really hoping we were going to see like the animation for Ultima.
But no, then he used
Stopsa.
Stopsa, yeah.
So everybody just freezes. It was a pretty badass scene. Mm-hmm. And then Sora, Donald, and Goofy like get teleported to Scala at Kylum, which we'll talk about this later. And I told you this. Knowing what I know now, I would not have watched a single trailer before the game came out.
See, I saw that there was something in there. I didn't read too much in it. I did, like I said, I watched the initial trailer, but I probably watched that before I went back and started like researching everything.
But yeah, just after seeing everything they showed in the trailers, they showed way too much.
That initial fight with Master Xehanort, and that
was stupid. I didn't mind the form, finding all the different forms. It was annoying, but it was pretty difficult.
Why is he floating? Why can't you have fly at some point in the game, I thought you were going to get fly and you're going to be able to use like a Peter Pan or something like that. Would have been perfect.
You have glide, but you don't have flying.
But then as you're gliding towards him, he's disappearing and reappearing across the map.
That fight was just the one after you fight all those different. The one where you fight all those different forms was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was forgettable.
Oh, the initial one.
Yeah. It was okay. It was cool seeing like all the different abilities coming at you at once.
The water one was stupid. The one in
the next one where you fight him and it's like the all Inception stuff and all the buildings are turning.
Like
there's three. There's the 3 stages. That fight was lame as hell. Did you die at the underwater part?
No, I died on the next part.
Oh,
surprisingly, I made it. No, like I had a sliver of life with like nothing left.
I almost died again at that part. I died at the underwater part though.
Because where did it restart you?
It started me at the beginning of the underwater part.
Okay, at the beginning of the water part. Because I got to the next stage where if you go back and everything's in ruins, and I was probably half of one bar left, and I died right there.
And where did it start you? The underwater part?
No, at that part.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's 3 checkpoints.
Yeah, but it gave me the option to go into the menu and equip more items and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So that fight was just terrible.
Rage form was actually good in that fight.
Yeah, it was, because rage form, you can like, as he's like teleporting around, rage form can follow him and track him.
Yeah, you were able to teleport like a short distance and do a lot of damage, and the combos carried over and kept him stunned.
Yeah, like we said earlier, we liked the water fighting in Pirates of the Caribbean. For this boss fight, it was a major hindrance because his attacks are timed to where you can't really dodge all of them because your dodge underwater has a cooldown.
The biggest gripe that I didn't mention was in the first stage, whenever you're fighting all his forms, you can't lock onto him because there's items that you can lock onto all over the stage.
Yeah, that is true.
There's trees, there's lampposts, there's baskets. You can't lock onto them, which is pointless because you don't get anything when you hit the trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't have made lock on. They should have made lock on work for enemies and not for items.
Right. You have the yellow, but you can't lock onto it.
Which is another thing about the combat that made the game way too easy. You have all these reaction things, attractions, combo finishers. I saw on Twitter somebody recommended if you say you have 3 of those up at one time, you can only use one of them. And once you use that one, all the other ones go away.
Which makes sense.
I would have liked that. I mean, I get, you're powering up as the game goes on. But dude, this game was easy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, some of the attractions were stupid, like Splash Ride I didn't care for. Yeah. Buzz Lightyear was good, taking out just like mobs, but like in a boss fight it's bad because you just get damaged.
The carousel was stupid.
Carousel. I mean,
and the teacups were okay.
Yeah, and pirate ship was good. Pirate ship was probably the most beneficial.
Yeah.
Besides roller coaster.
And then you get to the last fight, which I thought was really cool. I liked how he like takes your light from you and you get put into rage form and you have to go like
slowly get your Keyblade back.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then you just go on the freaking field strip where like you find out Eric has stored his heart inside of Terra's. So like he comes out and is like, all right, dude, you've done enough dumb shit. And then Xehanort, I wouldn't say he's a good guy at the end of the game, but he kind of realizes, all right, I've lost. Like there's no point.
Well, in his eyes, he was doing it for a good reason. Well, in my
eyes, the Jedi are evil. No, yeah,
younglings.
You find out that there was a method to his madness, and that he was actually trying to quote unquote do good.
Yeah,
he was trying to get rid of the darkness by getting rid of everything. If that makes sense. And Sora's like, dude, that's not up to you. Like. That's not the way things have to be.
Powerful speeches.
Yeah. Although Sora was matured a lot in this game.
I would say.
He was dumbass in all the other games, and in this one he's like, all right, like this is mature Sora. For as much as he could be.
Sora's like story. Okay, like as far as like his story arc, there's not much I feel like that really happened character development wise in between the start and the finish. It's weird. He was just supposed to go around to these different. Okay, give me a 2-sentence reason why he was going around to these worlds.
He was going around to get his powers back to be able to learn the power of waking because he lost them after Dream Drop Distance.
How was he supposed to get his powers back?
By connecting his heart to other people, strengthening his bonds to people, allowing him to have more power.
Why didn't they say that in the game?
I don't know. They should have, but I mean, it was just me and you. Yeah, me and you have played, so we know that. I agree. They should have said that. I think they mention it at the beginning, like
vaguely.
They kind of lead him to Hercules, and Hercules kind of leads him to other people.
Oh, you got to go to Hercules, please. You know, he's a hero. He knows how to get his back and everything like that.
And then Hercules is like, all right, well, you kind of just have to do it on your own. I can't really tell you how to do it.
He just goes around, visits other people.
Yeah.
And they're just helping people as he goes. So
yeah. I thought the ending was very good, though.
It was good. Yep. Cutscenes were great.
Yeah, the cutscenes were amazing. You get all the feels, everybody going back to their home worlds. You see Naminé come back.
Sora and Kairi sitting together, and that's not how it ends. The game ends with him still searching for Kairi.
Well, no. Well, no. The game.
I thought that's what I thought there's how it's supposed to end. Like he's off visiting other worlds trying to find Kyrie, so that's why like this saga of these 3 games, which we'll go into more in the future, are like at an end.
I don't know, because I mean, there's the whole cutscene of them on the beach and with Sora and Kyrie on the tree.
That's why I was reading reviews and like people that had played the game and like all the way through said, you know, the game ended with, you know, him going away trying to find her, but then it's like it was strange how they built that up so much that he was leaving, and then in the final cutscene of the game they're sitting together and it's just like,
well, he vanishes at the end because he's not actually there.
Yeah,
because so all throughout the game you have young Xehanort who's kind of edging Sora on to use the power of waking, because at the end you find out, well, there's a limit to how much he can use it, and Mickey's like, you know, power of the waking isn't just to go do whatever you want, it has consequences.
Yeah.
So he overused it, and I guess this was like his limit to bring Kyrie back. I mean he's obviously back because you have the secret ending, which we can get into after the epilogue. That was a really good scene though. They tied everybody back to kind of their original worlds. Yeah, you see you see Terra and them go back to the land of departure and like do their whole tribute to Ericus. You see Lee and Shion and Roxas, Roxas and Isa, yeah, and then Hayner Pencilette come in. That was a good touch, having all them together.
Yeah, both sides of that.
And you got to see like Axel and Shion and Isa and like their different outfits, which was pretty cool. I thought those were well designed. And then you have Riku go and pick up Naminé, which I guess their thing now or something.
I think they always kind of were a thing from Chain of Memories.
Yeah, probably. And then they're all meeting up on the beach and they see Kyrie sitting on the tree and like Sora disappears. So then you get to the epilogue, which you see the Keyblade Graveyard and you see Lushu with the freaking box that was only really talked about like halfway through the game.
Lushu meaning Xigbar.
Yeah, meaning Xigbar, or Xigbar meaning Lushu.
Yeah, that's right. Xigbar
that was the bombshell, which I've seen people on Twitter and it was like what does that mean? I was like, all right, y'all obviously didn't watch the back cover. Go watch it.
Yeah, and then Pete and Maleficent leaving.
They're scheming, yeah.
No, do you think they helped him? I think they did.
They might have, yeah. Either that or they saw it and they're like off to plan what they're going to do next.
Well, that's why weren't they in the game?
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know. Like I said, I think that's definitely setting up for where the story's going.
So that being said, where do you think the next one's going to be? You think it's going to be prequel?
No, I don't think they're going back.
You don't think it's going to be you don't think Xigbar like takes the box and goes back to his own time?
I don't think so, because they want to show Sora and Riku.
That's what
and
that's
the
true.
secret ending.
Now,
where I think the game's going, I think it's going to I think the next one's going to be more like Final Fantasy-esque. There's going to be Final Fantasy, I don't know, worlds.
Yeah, because there was no Final Fantasy characters in this game at all.
Yeah, which was kind of lame because no Sephiroth fight.
No Sephiroth fight. I mean, the only Final Fantasy stuff you really had was the Moogles, the Moogle shops.
I think Verum Rex from Toy Story, I think that will be a world in the next game.
I think so too.
Kind of the Final Fantasy
13
versus yeah. Where Yuzora looks exactly like Riku kind of thing. So then you have the secret ending where first I think they're in separate worlds. They look similar, but
yeah.
The one Sora is in is from, I forget the name of it. It was a Square Enix game that was in Birth by Sleep. That's where Sora is. And then Riku is in Verum Rex.
Right.
So then, you scale up, which the graphics at this part were stupid.
Yep.
Like Sora was in laying in a puddle on a road, and he lifts his hands up and you see the water like dripping down his hands. It was insanely good. So then you scroll up to the side of a building. Riku sees Yuzora sitting up there, which is the main character from Verum Rex, the game in Toy Story. The game inside of a game, Gameception.
Yep.
And then Sora, I don't know if he sees him, but you see who we assume to be the Master of Masters, because he holds his hands up to the moon and makes a box, as in the box that Lushu had.
And turns it into a heart.
And then turns it into a heart. And that was the end. So confirmed that there's more Kingdom Hearts games.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think they're going to go?
I mean, I think they're going to keep going with the story. Now, I think there might be a little bit of time travel on this one, since we know Lucio is Lucio or Lucia or
Lucio.
Lucio.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call him Zigbar for all of us. It's pretty much confirmed that he can dabble in time travel.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have young Xehanort who's time traveling, and
yeah. So if he's one of the former master's apprentices, so what? There's 5 of them.
Yeah, there was the four like the Forerunners, and they were like leaders of each house, and then Lucio was kind of he was there. I don't know if he's considered a Forerunner, but he was like the master of masters, like sidekick.
Yeah. Did you realize that whenever they play they started the next chess game, all the emblems on the black side
they were of the Forerunners, and yeah, I noticed that.
There's one on the white side, which who knows what that means?
Yeah, who knows if that's Sora? Who knows if that's going to be a new character they introduce? I don't think it will be. I think it's Sora, but I think I think if they continue this storyline, there'll be one more like main game.
Well, I thought this was supposed to be end of the Dark Seeker saga.
This was the end of Xehanort's story.
Okay.
So Xehanort's done, which I think I think Lucio taught Xehanort about like getting vessels and everything, because that's how Lucio got his appearance. Obviously, I guess he went into Braig's body. Braig is Zigbar's somebody.
Yeah.
I like how they brought in all the organization's somebodies.
Yeah, like the guys working in the lab and stuff like that.
Yeah, they didn't talk, but that's not a huge deal. They're kind of the muscle. Alias and Dylan. Zaldin and Luxeus.
I don't know. I mean, I think some areas were fleshed out, others were definitely lacking.
Yeah, for sure.
We can talk about like other things, like the photo thing was okay. I mean, it was a gimmick.
Yeah, it was just to get like the emblems or whatever.
Well, you could do like a selfie mode, and like the people will like pose if you take a picture of them and stuff like that. So I mean,
it was okay. It was mainly used to get like the secret Mickey emblems though, which makes it fine for me.
Yeah, the classic games.
I haven't played them yet.
Okay, so you remember the old like Tiger handheld electronics?
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Okay, so they're like pixel.
Yeah, like you know how whenever like if you look at the screen when the Tiger Electronics off, it has like every icon pretty much lit up at the same time, like on the screen, because it's a LCD screen.
Yeah.
So that's how it looks, and you press start and you play like a little mini game, and the only reason it's in there is to get you get a Keyblade from it, so you got to do it.
Okay. You have to get like a certain score in every game or something.
All you have to do is play each game once.
Oh, okay.
So
you have done that as we were going.
You get a high, because there's 28 of them. So have fun with that. Yeah. You have to get a high score on each one, and so I mean, you play through the game once. There's no score on there, so you get a high score. So I mean, that was kind of dumb. The Ratatouille thing we already spoke about. That's pointless. You have to do the Ratatouille because you get a Keyblade.
Oh yeah, that's right. You get the frying pan Keyblade or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's whatever. And it's just...
overall the combat I enjoyed. I didn't like attractions, just like everyone else. They were cool. No. I didn't like them. They made the game too easy. I liked the Keyblade transformations. I felt like they were all unique enough.
I like the unison moves. So like you have the
like
flare.
The Goofy Bombarder.
Yeah, all
the
that.
Meteor. Cool. All that stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed those too. The music was. This was the best music in the series.
Music was really good. I like. The gummy missions. I like the approach.
I wasn't a fan of it at first, but it grew on me.
I like it. This is probably my favorite.
I think it is too.
Like playing it more.
Through the open world style, you can avoid fights. You don't have to you don't have to fight anything in between the worlds. If you want to get like materials to build new ships, there's like hidden treasure cubes you can do. You can do fights to get materials.
Fights, yeah.
It grew on me.
There's challenges like through everyone. Like one of the trophies is you have to get an A rank on 20 fights.
Yeah.
And so I did that.
The Orichalcum Plus hidden behind that last boss.
You have to beat the last boss to get it.
No, there's like a hidden boss.
Yeah, there's a hidden boss. So to get the hidden boss, you have in the first galaxy containing the first 4 worlds, there's a boss in there. You kill it. It's did you do any of them? There's a boss that's like a sandworm that jumps between like sand moons or something like that.
I did the ones you were required to. I haven't done any of the side ones.
Well, there's a special boss. I mean, it's nothing special.
Yeah, but yeah, you just have to get the Orichalcum Plus, right?
Yeah, you have to beat all 3 of them. So the second one is you need to have a ship that has a 200 plus speed on it to be able to. It's in the tornado in the second galaxy. That one is difficult. Like if you don't memorize a pattern and you don't have a good ship that does damage real fast, you will die.
Yeah.
Like I want to say that one took me like an hour, and I ended up building the donut ship again. That's what ended up getting me through it. But the beating that boss and not even the final boss that gives you the Orichalcum Plus gives you a trophy. That's how difficult that boss is.
Oh, okay.
Damn. And then you go to the last galaxy, and around the big battleship thing, there's 4 bosses around it. You go
okay.
Four mini bosses, so like 4 4-star bosses. So you go kill each one of those. You go down to the bottom, kill one boss down there, and then the big boss comes out at the top, which is a souped up version of like the big battleship that you fight.
That you fight
I think at that one.
Before the Keyblade Graveyard.
Yeah, which I mean that, and then you kill that one, and that gives you Orichalcum.
Yeah,
I mean that one's
pretty good.
Yeah, that guy was easy compared to the second boss, the one in the tornado.
So hopefully it doesn't take them forever to do some sort of final mix, some sort of DLC that's worth playing and worth them doing. I don't think they would do anything that isn't worth doing as far as the story goes.
I'd say 2 years.
That's safe, yeah.
If you do like a final mix re-release, maybe a final mix release on the PlayStation 5.
And if they want to keep the global release too, it won't be like Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Plus,
which I think is smart.
It came out in 2008 or 2007 in Japan, and it didn't come out here until like 2014. I was about to buy the freaking Japanese version.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
About to learn Japanese to play freaking Kingdom Hearts 2. Overall, though, we both thought the game was solid.
It was really good.
We both had our problems with it. Like I said, compared to just 1 and 2, not the final mixes. If I had to put one above the other, I'd probably put 2 slightly above 3, just because the combat felt so good.
Yep.
But the story in 3 to me made it really good. The combat was good too, but the combat in 2 was just insanely good.
Yeah, I like the drive system in 2 a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Like how you had to level up the drives and stuff like that. I think that was more too. Because I mean, what's the point? There's no incentive to level up all your Keyblades.
No, there's not.
There's not even like a trophy thing saying like, "Oh, you leveled up all your."
Because what are you going to use them for after you beat the game?
You get it. Well, once you get the final weapon, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, go kill the secret boss in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go do. That's why I was going to go see if I can one shot the secret boss.
Yeah, so the game definitely.
The secret boss was a letdown.
Yeah, the game definitely has its issues. The second one had its issues too, though. Don't let anybody kid you.
Oh, every one of them had their issues. I mean, you got to think about trying to scale the game. They're talking about trying to incorporate Disney, Final Fantasy, and
not Final Fantasy storyline.
Well, yeah, in other ones, but like in their own storyline weave throughout. So it was. I think it's definitely worth a play. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. As far as like what games do you need to play before this, I'd 1 and 2 and then watch videos on the other ones.
Yeah,
those are the most accessible, and those are these ones.
I wouldn't buy any of the other games.
Well, I would buy the collection, the story before or whatever that came out on the PlayStation 4.
That is everything.
Yeah, I'd play 1 and 2 on there and watch videos in there.
Yeah. The back cover is a must though for you to understand what's going on at the epilogue.
Yeah.
Or else you'll be completely lost. Even then, it's a movie. It's like an hour long. You can watch it. It's literally like how Kingdom Hearts started. So I definitely recommend watching that. Yeah, it's about an hour long episode. That was good. So we're recording this Monday. So like, what'd you give the game out of 10? 7, 8?
7.5.
7.5. I think that's probably the same for me.
Yeah, 8 for 2 and 9 for 1 for me.
So 1 is still your favorite?
I
even over
would
2?
no, it's not my favorite.
You just said a 9 out of 10, and you gave 2 an 8 out of 10.
No, that doesn't mean it's my favorite. That means as a whole, that game is better than 2 and 3.
So, yeah,
my favorite is 2.
Mm.
But I'm saying 1. Nothing's come before it because 2 is so good because we know where it came from and how much it's grown since 1. But as a whole story, start to finish, playing that game by itself, not knowing anything else about it because there's no lore or anything to worry about besides that game, I think everything that's available in that game is good. Because the only negative it seems like you told me so far was the combat for 1.
Yeah, there's others, but
I hate the camera controls in it's too floaty. Combat's bad, but I think the story is so good in 1.
Yeah,
that's why I give it. Now Kingdom Hearts 2.5 is by far the best, or not 2.5, Final Mix. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is easily the best. Now I would still give that like a 9.5. I wouldn't give it that a 10.
No, I wouldn't give it a 10 either. I don't give any game a 10. There's no perfect game.
Uncharted.
I don't give Uncharted a 10.
You don't like Uncharted games. That's why.
Well, I know. I'm saying even if I did like
God of War. God of War's not a 10.
I don't give a God of War a 10. I don't give any game a 10 because there's no perfect game. Don't let anybody ever tell you there's a perfect game out there.
God of War is a 9.9 due to the menu system.
Sure. If you have a single problem with the game, it is not a 10.
I know. That's what I was saying. If you have to give it a 9.9, it's because of the menu system.
Yeah. So I honestly don't know what we're going to talk about on our next episode. We did our long Kingdom Hearts 3 review. We can figure that out later.
Yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow and stream something. Maybe it was just like what we're playing and maybe like well, no, we already did like upcoming release games. Have you played Apex Legends yet?
I did. We can talk about that.
Twitch is blowing up about it.
Yes.
So
the video gaming world is blowing. Just to give you all an idea. Fortnite hasn't been above it since it came out on Twitch. Currently, and we'll talk about this will be our topic for tomorrow. We'll stream it.
I got 1, 2, 3 people on my Twitch
336,000 people are watching Apex. That is
336,000.
That is over triple of Fortnite at 121,000.
Shroud has 110,000 people watching him play right now, and
he's probably telling his stream every 20 minutes to go check out other people streaming it because Shroud's the GOAT. So yeah, we'll be talking about Apex Legends tomorrow.
Did you see him comment saying like 24-hour streams should not be a thing? And
that
then
was Summit.
That's Summit. Oh yeah, sorry, I got that confused.
God,
but then,
dude, come on.
Then someone was like, except for you, Caleb, Final Fantasy 700% runs are a must.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, that'll be our topic for next week for episode 10. 10 episodes already. Well,
for tomorrow.
For tomorrow we'll be streaming. So this episode 9, will be posted on Tuesday. We'll be streaming on Tuesday night, and then that episode will probably be up Wednesday or Thursday.
And then we'll probably record
another one. Yeah.
And put it up this weekend.
Yep. So guys, go ahead and feel free to comment down below what you thought of Kingdom Hearts 3. If you liked it, if you disliked it, why you liked it or disliked it. Go ahead and follow on whatever platform you're listening to. It's the Brewhouse podcast, or is it Brewhouse Gaming podcast?
Brewhouse podcast.
Brewhouse podcast on any major podcast.
Not just about gaming.
True. Any of the major podcast platforms.
Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud,
YouTube. We stream on Twitch.
For the videos. Yep. Twitch.
And guys, thanks for watching. Jonathan.
And keep gaming.
Keep gaming. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.